Okay. So recruiting, it's been a bit since we've had a recruiting topic, just because there's been a lot of other things going on, but it's time to kind of look at some of these players and what is happening. So TJ, Andrew Babalola is the one. I'm so ready for him to just like, this has been it just feels so drawn out. We keep like every week it feels like he might be going somewhere else, or he might be looking at Michigan, he might be looking at Auburn. Stanford was in the mix until a while ago. Now they're out of it. What's the latest on Babalola? I think the whole world wants to know.
So as we know, Andrew Babalola has been rumored to be on the verge of committing since the end of July to August 12th to the end of August to early September. He's had 4 different dates. He's surpassed them all. Well, his next apparently, what he has publicized is he's looking to commit before his football season ends. So I would think by the end of October, early November, given if they make a playoff run. So we are looking to hopefully get a decision within about a month and a half, I would say, a good month, a month and a week, whatever. So be on the lookout for that. But I'm not holding my breath because he's already pushed 4 decision dates. All right, well, 3, 4, 1 behind the scenes, 3 publicly. And then, so we're gonna be on the lookout for that. Now, here's the reality of the Babalola recruitment. You have Michigan, you have Auburn. That's 1 and 2. Then you have Stanford in a distant 3. Here's the good news. Auburn looks like dog. And Hugh Freeze is apparently it's a warm seat right now. And there's people at Auburn who are thinking he might not, if this continues, the way the program looks, the way they're playing, it's possible he doesn't make it to the end of the year. It doesn't make it after the end of the year. I don't know if they're going to do an in-season thing, but he might not make it at the end of the year. So that being said, well, guess what? That only helps Michigan's chances right here because the reason why Auburn is so they're in this is because they're very aggressive in their NIL pitch right now. We see this with other players like Nate Marshall and Deuce Knight. Like they're just getting players all over the place, right? Andrew Babalola is no different. This was a academic recruitment. It is not an academic recruitment anymore. Not that it doesn't have some value. Of course, it has some value, but it's turned into an NIL recruitment. But here's the thing too. He's still thinking about it. So we will see. I would say end of October, early November. We should. I think that's really the target date now for Andrew Babalola. The good news is Michigan's win against USC really highlights the value of our play, our offensive line play. It was a great weekend for Michigan in terms of recruiting, and this weekend only helped us. And Auburn lost, so that only hurts them, and they don't look good either. So we'll stay tapped in on that. We'll find out, all together, what's going on there. I will say this though, his recruitment date, we'll see. Take it with a grain of salt right now because he's already pushed it 3 times, and there's part of me that thinks he's just going to go to National Signing Day. It feels like to me this is one of those National Signing Day recruitments because he just keeps pushing it and pushing it. So that's where we are with Babalola. Owusu-Boateng, major target for Michigan. He visited this weekend for the USC game. What a game for him to visit. It looks like right now it's between Michigan, Texas, Notre Dame. These would be the 3 teams. He is going to visit Notre Dame and Texas later in the year, which is why I'm holding, I'm kind of, although the weekend went extremely well, he loved it. Michigan did a great job. They did everything they need to do on their end in terms of, just making him feel welcome, how he fits into the system, making him a priority. They did everything, knocked it out of the park. I think Michigan's in a very good position with Owusu-Boateng. I think they could land him. I think it's like that. But here's where I'm going to draw my hesitancy and being very confident here. And it's because he has 2 more visits lined up. One is Notre Dame. One is Texas. Notre Dame, I believe, is getting the last visit of the year. And we all know we all know that he's a legacy. His brother went to Notre Dame.
Notre Dame I'm most worried about for sure.
Yeah, and then Texas is obviously looking great, and we know they're an NIL-heavy player, so, we have to just, again, this is another one where we're just going to have to watch and observe, see what we can do here. Maybe Michigan can up the ante by the end of the year as well. I know their goal is to have more money by December, so we'll see. Maybe, I don't know. But it's something to watch, something to monitor. We'll be on top of that. But the good news is Michigan did its job. We'll see if it was good enough to push us over the finish line. And then another player who not of the 2025 class, but the 2026 class, and that is Brady, Hart, QB1. I don't even want to say Trevor Lawrence Jr. anymore because Trevor Lawrence isn't playing too well in the NFL. But this kid is a stud. He's going to be visiting us for the Minnesota game. So he will be on campus this weekend for the Minnesota game. He is looking to recruit very hard for Michigan. He wants to, word is he is, even though there's been some, I guess you could say, turbulence early in the year in terms of our performance, our play, new head coach, whatever, in terms of eyes of recruiting, people thought maybe that would look bad for recruiting. Brady Hart is locked in. He still wants to be Michigan Wolverine. He's all about it. He loves Michigan. He's coming to recruit. It's a bye week for him for his high school football team. Let me just share you guys his stats for the year right now. He's played 5 games. He has 1,700 yards. He's averaging 345 yards a game as a junior in one of the most difficult divisions in Florida high school football. His team is ranked 26th in the nation. He has 16 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. This kid is legit. If anyone has not seen his highlight tape, and you know what, John, if you could pull up his highlight tape, that'd be great right now, actually. I know we should have talked about that before the show, but it just popped in my head. He has looked spectacular. So Brady Hart is no question. He's just a different breed. This is the type of player who, in my opinion, I'd put on a JJ caliber, not only as a player on the field, but off the field. He seems to be a leader. So I'm very excited to see him I don't want to say reconfirm because it was never really in doubt. It was more of a fan thing, questioning. But the reality is Brady Hart is still very locked in to Michigan, and you guys could check him out here. He's just an excellent player for his age in Florida. So I mean, he's been tearing it up this year in football. I mean, the kid's averaging. I mean, you can just see the kid's got pro potential. This is the epitome of a professional style quarterback. He's not the most. Look at that dime, dude. Like that's
JJ. That's JJ McCarthy is the only quarterback here that I've seen do stuff like that to that level.
He's special. So yeah, we're looking forward to getting him back on campus. He's going to do the 20 just to remind everybody what we've been saying over the summer. 2026, they're looking to have it be a big year for recruiting. Top 10 class is without question a target. Top 5 is what they're shooting for. So we'll see what they can do with it. They have to be very aggressive. Hopefully they're not underestimating what it will take to achieve that. But they believe with Brady Hart leading the class and their approach in NIL, they believe they'll be able to achieve it. We'll see. We'll keep our eyes and ears of that. We'll find out. And then we'll move on. Yeah, we'll move on right here to flip targets for Michigan, baby. All right, you want a 5-star, John? What about you? What about you, Wolverine Nation? You guys want a 5-star? I got you a 5-star. Scott Starzik, kicker, committed to Iowa, is the #1 kicker in the nation, considered a 5-star for his position. Michigan is looking to flip him from Iowa. He visited this weekend. This is also looking very, I would say, trending very heavy right now to Michigan, looking good. We'll see if they can complete the flip and land him. But this kid is a stud. We would show you his highlights, but the thing about kickers is there's not a lot of highlights. So
it's like we'll 10-second clip here, 30-second clip there.
Yeah, you're going to take our word for it on this one. But, this kid's a stud. It never hurts to get the #1 kicker in the nation in your class. Michigan's working to do that. So we'll stay tuned on that. Take that, Iowa. And then Alex Graham, defensive back from the state of Michigan, currently committed to Colorado. He also visited again this weekend. This is another visit. I think this is his 3rd in maybe 4 months. And we have talked, a lot of people have asked, why hasn't Michigan taken Alex Graham? Why aren't they pushing harder? Michigan wanted to see Alex Graham play before they decided to get more aggressive with him because he's had a bit of an injury history. He's a very talented player, 4-star DB. He does play safety, but he could play corner, which is why I'm labeling him as just a defensive back. This is a player to watch, and Lamar Morgan watched his game on Friday. They are watching him. They are observing him. I do believe this. I have not received intel on this or anything of that, but I do believe he will end up in the class. I think Alex Graham will be a Michigan Wolverine come National Signing Day. It just seems to be trending that way. He seems to be checking every box Michigan wanted. So I think you could probably bet that he's going to be in the class. We'll see, though. I know. Here's what he is committed to Colorado, but word is he really wants to be a Michigan Wolverine. So we'll see where that goes. from there. And then last up, we have a little bit of news on some players committed to our class right now, and that is Andrew Olish and Ivan Taylor. They will both be visiting Alabama this weekend for the Georgia-Alabama game. Now, Alabama already has a tight end committed to their class, so Andrew Olish would be their second tight end, and it's a similar tight end type to what Andrew Olish is, so it's not like Eli Owens for Michigan. So it's something to monitor here. Ivan Taylor is also visiting the Alabama game, which we all know he was formerly committed to Notre Dame. He then flipped to us. So hopefully, Alabama doesn't make a move here. Hopefully things stay course for Michigan, and Michigan's able to secure these guys all the way to National Signing Day. It's something we're just going to have to monitor. I mean, obviously they're going to one of the top teams for one of the top games. Hopefully Georgia smashes these dudes and it's a terrible game and it's a terrible flight. Or, well, I don't want to say terrible flight. Rewind. But hopefully it's not a very good trip down to Alabama. So hopefully, Michigan can stay course here and keep these boys in the class. But, what I will say, if you want my opinion on it, it's never a good thing if a player is looking at another program. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be out of the class. I'm not projecting that. I'm not saying, we're going to lose them. That's not what I'm saying. But if they had zero interest, they wouldn't go. That's all I'll say on that. If they had absolutely zero interest, they would not be going to Alabama. So it is what it is. We will just have to see. Hopefully Michigan can hang on there and secure both of them in the class for 2025.
Well, even if Alabama's dropping money to have them visit and, rolling out the red carpet, so to speak, I mean, it does happen, but
we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I mean, kids are going to want to, the truth is too, though, kids are going to want to still experience other places to reconfirm their commitments where they are. And this happens, right? But I'm a big believer that if you're going to, this is me. So this is me talking. If you're going to visit other schools, you're not sold. You're not 100% sold yet. And you still have interest. You still have some interest, Now, potentially this visit could answer their questions and they could be like, you know what, Michigan is for me. Alabama's not for me. Because how do you truly know what you want unless you experience other things? And that could very well be the philosophy here. We'll see. But again, it never makes you feel good. Someone that's in your class is going to a school like Alabama. They're very aggressive in recruiting. We know how it goes. So we'll just have to see here how it transpires. Hopefully we'll have an update for you guys next week.
Watch this space. TJ always bringing us the freshest recruiting takes.